is Christy Sabdo, Associate Planner with the City of Monterey. I'll be serving as zoning administrator for this hearing today. Stephanie, can you announce the staff members present, please?
Yes, thank you. Staff members present are Associate Planner Sabdo, acting as zoning administrator, Senior Associate Planner Chris Schmidt, and myself, Recording Secretary Stephanie Coda.
Thank you. I'd like to open public comments for items not on the agenda. Stephanie, can you let the public know how they can participate?
Members of the public are encouraged to join our meetings via Zoom Gov, a secure service that connects you live with no lag time. This meeting is also streamed live on youtube.com/City of Monterey with an approximate 10-second delay and Comcast channel 25 with up to a 90-second delay. If you would like to provide public comment, please join the meeting using Zoom or by telephone, making sure to join in time to accommodate delays. To join the Zoom meeting from a computer or phone, use the link or phone numbers on the agenda posted at isearchmonterey.org. Since the meeting has started, you'll find the agenda under the Recent tab. To join by telephone, dial 833-568-8864. That's 833-568-8864, toll free. Then enter the webinar ID. The webinar ID is 160-666-5889. Again, that's 160-666-5889. If prompted for a participant ID, press the pound key. Detailed instructions for using Zoom are available at monterey.org/public meetings. To provide public comment via Zoom, please use the raise your hand function at the bottom of your screen. To provide comments by phone, dial *9 to raise your hand, then *6 to unmute when called upon. Public commenters will be announced using their last 3 phone number digits or the name typed into Zoom. Public commenters will be muted until it is their turn to speak. Please turn off TV or computer speakers or go to another room while connected, as background noise interferes with the broadcast. Public speakers will be called upon in order of hands raised. There is a 3-minute time limit for today's meeting. Please stay within that limit.
Would anyone present like to speak about an item not on the agenda today? Okay. Are there any callers, Stephanie?
Yes, we do have one attendee.
Do you know if they're wanting to speak about an item not on the agenda? Are they raising their hands?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. So I didn't realize I would get a chance to speak so early, but as far as items not on the agenda in zoning goes, my name is Gabriel Sanders. I'm Deputy Director of Land Watch, Monterey County, and I was here just to listen in. There are some agenda items I would like to hear about, but just want to put on your radar the need that the zoning, that the Planning Commission is going to have for probably some updates to zoning in order to accommodate RENA units, but you probably know that already. So I just wanted to let you know that Land Watch is here to support any efforts that you might have in that direction, and we want to help make the process easier. So feel free to reach out to me anytime that you see fit, and we'll definitely be in contact. So thanks for the work you're doing, and please proceed with your meeting. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Mr. Sanders. We appreciate your comments. Okay, let's move on to consent items. We have minutes from July 21st, 2022. And I do not have any changes to those minutes, and I can approve the minutes from Thursday, July 21st, 2022. And also there are minutes from Thursday, August 4th, 2022. I do have some minor changes. That the text, the first paragraph under zoning administrator comments, starting with zoning administrator Roveri stated, that whole paragraph be moved as the second paragraph under staff presentation / zoning administrator questions, just to reflect the flow of the meeting. And then also under zoning administrator comments, the paragraph 2 as shown. It's the fourth line down, changing amendments to amendment, removing the S. And then, let's see. The fifth line down, where it states remove the apostrophe, etc. And it says amendments. Please change that to just amend. So it'll read and amend Exhibit A. And then on the last line in that paragraph, Sunday instead of Sundays. And with those changes, I can approve the minutes from August 4th. Okay. All right, we can move on to the public hearing. I'd like to introduce excuse me. I'd like to introduce item number 4. Consider 1015 Cass Street use permit application UP 210081 to allow conversion of existing commercial office space to 7 residential units. Applicant Glenn Warner, property owner Razai Mohammed and Zaish Desai, COES zoning district and commercial general plan land use designation, and it is exempt from CEQA. Article 19, section 15332, class 32. Staff, do we have a presentation?
Yes, thank you, Zoning Administrator Sabdo. My name is Chris Schmidt. I'm a Senior Associate Planner with the city. And I've been working with the applicant on this project. So this project was heard by the Zoning Administrator last month, and it was approved. But we did want to come back with some clarifications. There was actually an error on the notice that said there were 6 units. In fact, there are 7 proposed here. So we wanted to clarify that. We did discuss that there were 7 at that last hearing, but I'll give essentially the same presentation. So the staff's recommendation is to approve the use permit. The site you can see here on the right is 1015 Cass. There are 3 existing commercial office buildings. 2 of them have second story components to them and would be included in the conversion. So the project description is conversion of the existing office space to 7 residential units. There are 3 buildings totaling 6,015 square feet. 14 parking spaces are proposed, 7 of which would be covered by a new carport. And then there would be a new waste enclosure to meet the requirements. So here you can see that site plan, which does show the existing condition, those 3 buildings on the left-hand side and the top of the site plan. And then on the bottom right side, you can see the proposed waste enclosure and carport. Here we see the floor plan for 2 units in building 1. These are 1-bedroom units. Floor plans for both floors at building 2. We have a 3-bedroom on the top floor, and then 2 units, a 2-bedroom and a 3-bedroom on the bottom. And then building 3, there are 2 units, a 2-bedroom and a 1-bedroom. It is worth noting we did have public comment from a neighboring property owner and the representative from across the street who support the project, citing the need for housing in the area. And then a neighbor at 1011 Cass Street, which is the property just to the north, who requested drainage and fencing improvements. I will note that this project did not meet the threshold that's required by state law for stormwater requirements to incorporate drainage improvements, but the applicant is looking at incorporating those into their design plan. And so we'll see that as they apply for the next stage for the project. And then there is no specific requirement for fencing here. It's a suggestion that I'm willing to talk to the applicant at this point about, but I would not require it as a condition. So the first finding for a use permit is that the proposed use is in accord with the objectives of the chapter, the zoning ordinance, and purposes of the zone, the CO commercial office zone. So units over projects with units over 4 require a use permit approval. This project includes the required parking, including covered parking. A new waste enclosure is provided that meets our requirement. And generally the proposal meets the development standard requirements. The second finding is that the proposed use and the proposed conditions under which it would be operated or maintained will be consistent with the general plan, will not be detrimental to the public health, safety, or welfare of persons residing or working in or adjacent to the neighborhood of such use, and will not be detrimental to properties or improvements in the vicinity or to the general welfare of the city. Staff was able to make this finding. It is consistent with the commercial general plan land use designation and the 30 units per acre density that is allowed under that commercial general plan land use. This site could accommodate, under the density allowance, up to 12 units. I believe this is the maximum number of units that they could accommodate with the water that's on site. Additionally, they are proposing the necessary parking and amenities, meaning the trash enclosure, waste enclosure rather, and that be provided for residential use. Lastly, the last finding is that the proposed use will comply with any specific condition required for that use. And so the standard conditions apply to this project. In addition, because the proposal includes more than six or more units, the applicant will need to engage with the city in an affordable housing agreement. Will they have to at least deed restrict one of these units to affordable use. So with that, staff recommends approval of the use permit. I'm available for questions, and the project applicant is here as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. I just wanted to bring up in the analysis page, or it's paragraph 3, where it summarizes the unit types in each building. And I wanted to just clarify for the record, and please confirm that after building 1, it says building 3, where I think it should say building 2, would be converted into 2 3-bedroom units and 1 2-bedroom unit.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any other questions at this time. Does the applicant want to make a presentation or?
Hi, Glenn Warner. I'm the architect. And I just wanted to speak about that drainage issue.
Sure.
I took a look at the topo that we did, and there is, the whole parking lot's basically collecting in that back corner. So
Mhm.
I've talked to the owners, and they're willing to, we'll put in a dispersal trench in that corner and an area drain or a catch basin to
Okay,
help mitigate that problem.
that's fantastic.
And I just heard about the fence tonight, but I'm sure they're willing to work with him on the fence.
Thanks for working with your neighbors.
Yeah, no problem. That's all I-
Thank you. Stephanie, can you, I'd like to open up public comments. Can you let everybody know how they can participate?
To join the Zoom meeting from a computer or phone, use the link or phone numbers on the agenda posted at isearchmonterey.org. To join by telephone, dial 833-568-8888 8864 toll free. Again, that number is 833-568-8864. Then enter the webinar ID. The webinar ID is 160-666-5889. Again, that's 160-666-5889. To provide public comment via Zoom, please use the raise your hand function at the bottom of your screen. To provide comments by phone, dial *9 to raise your hand, then *6 to unmute when called upon. Public commenters will be announced using their last 3 phone number digits or the name typed into Zoom.
Does anyone here wish to speak on this project?
I do have one hand raised,
Okay.
and I will allow them to speak.
Hello, thank you again.
Hi, go ahead.
I just want to say I'm very glad to see that this housing project is going to get off the ground. It sounds like, of course, water is a limitation. I wanted to put out there that Landwatch, according to our best resources and knowledge, as well as the water district, we're very confident that there will be more water in the coming years. I know this is a contentious subject, but I'm just really, I'm really proud that you are approving an infill development project for more units. Hopefully they will be somewhere in the moderately affordable range as it relates to the market in the city of Monterey. But of course, developing at 30 dwelling units an acre may not be enough with the existing sites. So a site like this might be able to accommodate even more once there is more water available and height limits are lifted in the downtown and adjacent areas. So things to consider going forward into the 6th cycle arena. Again, I applaud the developers and the city for getting this project going at the maximum density available with the current resources and zoning. But again, always worth reconsidering. It's time to innovate a little bit to accommodate the arena numbers. So thank you for the time.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Sanders. All right. Does it look like we have no other comments?
I don't see any other hands raised.
Okay, I'd like to close public comments. And so I don't have any further questions. I do have, I will have changes to the findings once I'm going to make my motion. So I approve use permit 210081 to allow conversion of existing commercial office space to 7 residential units at 1015 Cass Street with a correction to finding 2. And it's just a clarification. So sentence 3, please cross out to construct 7 new residential units and replace it with involves the conversion of existing commercial office space to 7 residential units. And with that, this action is appealable to the Planning Commission on forms available at the planning office within 10 days from today or by August 29th at 5 p.m. And I want to thank the applicant for your patience going through this twice. Okay. Let's move on to item 5. Consider 857 Cass Street use permit application UP 220103 to allow mixed use, 2 new residential units at an existing commercial office building. Applicant Merritt Howley, MAP architect, property owner Charles Howley Trust, COES zoning district and commercial general plan designation, exempt from CEQA requirements per Article 19, Section 15303, Class 3. Chris, do you have a presentation?
Yes, I do. Thank you. So the staff recommendation is to approve the use permit. Here we see the subject property. It is really just down the street from the last project that we looked at. You can see it's at the corner of Davis Lane and Cass Street. So the scope would be to convert part of the existing office to two residential units. There's an existing 3,115 square foot two-story office building. The second story of that building would be converted. And then the site contains existing parking spaces. And I'll also mention there is an existing waste enclosure area. So here you can see the site plan. As I mentioned, there are 10 parking spaces. The requirement for this project is actually 8 spaces. And it's also worth noting, you may notice there's no carport here. That's because the city's requirement, although these are these last 2 projects are in the same zoning district, because this is mixed use, there's a different parking requirement that applies to this project. And so there's no covered parking requirement for mixed use. And then the requirement I'll add is 8 spaces. So they're not making any changes to the existing lot. And here you can see that second floor where the 2 units are proposed. On the left-hand side, you'll note that there is a private deck there. That is currently a staircase for second story access. And so that would just be simply converted to a deck for private residential use. So the first finding, I just read it, so I'll skip to the finding that staff was able to make. So staff made this finding that the proposal is consistent with the zoning ordinance and zone because mixed use is permitted by use permit, and it includes the required parking, waste enclosure, and it meets the required development standards. In this case, the staff found that the proposal is consistent with the commercial general plan land use and density for the site. This site could accommodate up to 5 units, if I remember correctly from my staff report. And they do provide the appropriate parking and amenities for residents. And then lastly, having to do with conditions, the typical standards apply here. Fairly simple conversion project. So again, staff recommends approval of the use permit. I am available for questions and the applicant is here as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. I do have one question. The CO district doesn't allow parking in the 20-foot front yard setback in the CO district. Is the parking existing non-conforming?
It is.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. I don't have any further questions for staff. Does the applicant want to make a presentation?
Thank you, staff. I'm Merritt Hawley. I'm the applicant, and I just wanted to thank you for your presentation, and I'm here to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you. I don't have any questions.
Okay.
So thank you. Okay, can we open public comments, Stephanie?
Members of the public are encouraged to join our meetings via Zoom Gov, a secure service that connects you live with no lag time. This meeting is also streamed live on youtube.com/City of Monterey with an approximate 10-second delay and Comcast channel 25 with up to a 90-second delay. If you would like to provide public comment, please join the meeting using Zoom or by telephone, making sure to join in time to accommodate delays. To join the Zoom meeting from a computer or phone, use the link or phone numbers on the agenda posted at isearchmonterey.org. To join by telephone, dial 833-568-8864 toll free. Again, that's 833-568-8864. Then enter the webinar ID. The webinar ID is 160-666-5889. Again, that number is 160-666-5889. If prompted for a participant ID, press the pound key. Detailed instructions for using Zoom are available at monterey.org/public meetings. To provide public comment via Zoom, please use the raise your hand function at the bottom of your screen. To provide comments by phone, dial *9 to raise your hand, then *6 to unmute when called upon. Public commenters will be announced using their last 3 phone number digits or the name typed into Zoom.
Okay, I don't see anyone present other than the applicant in the audience, so Stephanie, looks like there are no callers, is that correct?
There is one caller, but I don't see her hand raised.
Okay, we'll give it a minute in case. Okay. I'd like to close public comments. I did want to comment that the parking requirements in this for the mixed use development requires 1 permanently assigned parking space for each unit. So as I make my motion, I'm going to add a special condition 1 requiring that. So I approve use permit UP 220103 to allow 2 new residential units at an existing commercial office building at 857 Cass Street with 1 amendment to CEQA findings, that as well, and the addition of a new special condition 1. So the change to CEQA exception F historical resources, I'd like to add after constructed in 1986, add a comma and then state less than 50 years ago. And then I'd like to add special condition 1 that states that 2 permanently assigned parking spaces shall be maintained for each residential unit. Parentheses, no covered parking for these units is required, end of parentheses. This action is appealable to the Planning Commission on forms available at the Planning Office within 10 days from today or by Monday, August 29th at 5 p.m. Thank you very much. Patient at the meeting today, and I want to adjourn the meeting at 3:27-ish.